let's design a landing page. I made it kind of like an app size, but I might go for a website instead. So I'm going to resize this frame. These boxes in Figma are called frames, by the way. And the fun thing about Figma is that you can also add animations as kind of like a prototype. So you can add, I could make a button here, for example, that's a rectangle. And then when you click on it in the prototype, it takes you to a different screen or moves something around a bit. So it's not like an actual application, but it kind of shows the programmer on your team maybe what you want to happen. Cool. So for a website, I'd probably expect a navigation bar. And I'm going to pick, I think purple is going to be my main brand color. I don't want to go like super saturated in dark purple, because that's not so easy on the eyes. So let's go for this. Unsplash, by the way, is a great resource for free stock photos. Donuts. Did I search donut? No, donut. Ooh, very nice donut images. My indecision. I think I'll go with this one. It seems clean and not too hard to integrate into a project. Sometimes when your images are super messy and distracting, then it's hard for your user to focus on your actual content. Let's find out how we rotate this image. Wow, very intuitive. You just hover over the corner. If you press shift while rotating, by the way, it will snap to right angles and possibly to 45 degrees. I'm not sure if Figma does this. Oh, very cool. Adobe Illustrator with shortcuts work there. So I did Control Shift and square bracket. If I just do Control square bracket, it gets smaller. It goes down one layer, not it gets smaller. It does not get smaller. Interesting. You know, I think there's actually too much regularity in this design. Like, if I put, for example, a heading, get your donuts here, it's going to be very distracting in terms of, remember Gestalt, how these things are all arranged nicely and you have a giant heading in the middle. So I'm going to pick a less orderly donut picture. Maybe this one. I like how it has lots of space around it, so I have space for my text and stuff. I'm going to copy image. Very nice. I'm not actually sure how to crop. Can I crop by double clicking? Well, for now I will just make it smaller. But what I would actually do if I were learning a new application is Google how to crop. Oh, there's the crop. There we go. If you guys are having trouble or anything, please feel free to unmute and talk about your design process. I am not really able to look at chat right now. That was a very bad crop. I'm going to Control minus to zoom out and Control Z to undo the crop. Oh, please. I don't like this. See, oh, okay, I can move this around. See, what I didn't like about that user experience is I pressed X and then it exited the cropping thing entirely, which I just wanted that window to go away. I didn't want to stop cropping. So. And now how do I stop cropping? That's also not intuitive. Okay. Now that I think about it, this purple doesn't really go with this pink, so although I would not always or often recommend choosing your brand colors based on a photo, I'm going to do that just for now. Oh, dark red is interesting. What about... I think this is a bit warmer. Too desaturated makes it look cold. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. goes with the photo, but it's also kind of unique. Maybe a bit more saturation. Okay, and what should we call our donut website? I'm unable to think of any fun puns right now, but I would ordinarily go for that. Escape to select the actual text box, and that aligned it to the middle of this box for me. Definitely center things in your navigation bar vertically. That is important. I don't like that I've selected this text, but it doesn't let me edit the font right away. I gotta like... here. It wasn't at the top, that's all. This is also annoying because you can't see what font it is. I believe there's an extension though that shows you what the font actually looks like. Let's go for Collective, which I believe is a vhHacks brand font. Does that exist here? Apparently not. Let's just experiment with that. I don't like that very much, but I also don't want to try a whole bunch of fonts. And so as this is a kind of like a heading, I would make it bold and easy to read. Okay, anything but this font, please.
Sophie, we have questions.
Questions, thank you for telling me. Are there any specific fonts you can use to both design it on Figma and execute it? So if you mean execute as in actually put it on the website, then I believe the Figma fonts are Google fonts. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but Google fonts are super easy to embed in a website or use on a website, just like Google how to use Google fonts on a website, and you can import it on your HTML or in your CSS. Yes, the non-font preview is aggravating. There is an extension, I believe, that will do that for you, but that should definitely... I don't have it on hand currently, but you can probably find it by Googling. Sorry. Just Vincent's. Oh, I like that. I'm going to put a period after the donut for innovativeness. Also, this color is kind of dark, so I'm going to make donut a whitish color, so it's much easier to read. I want to see if I can make it bold. Do not put a drop shadow or a stroke. Those are all terrible ideas. Oops, I have deleted it entirely. Actually, drop shadow doesn't look too bad, but it's very strange and jarring because you think this is part of the navigation bar, right? It's not. It shouldn't be hovering above it. So how do I get rid of that? Cool. Regular, bold. Let's do bold. Beautiful. Okay, and I'm going to Alt drag to copy it. What should we have here? About, and this is kind of bigger than donut, and I don't want that, so I'm going to go Control Shift left arrow, and it's going to get smaller. By left arrow, I meant less than sign. And can we do it semi-bold? Perfect. So these are going to be. So what's the most important thing we want here? Maybe I should design the welcome screen like, oop, that didn't copy. Alt drag. We've got the freshest donuts in the West. And let's make that big, and I'd like to center the text because this image is centered, so center that. And that's very hard to read, right? So let's see how it looks if, yes, I pressed I to get the eyedropper. The same color as the nav bar, make it bigger, Control Shift right arrow. I think it's alright. I'm going to experiment with adding a drop shadow. Oh, I don't like that. That made it actually harder to read. How about a darker version of this color? It's not bad. I think it could be improved, but it suffices for now. My instinct is to add a sign up button here, which is very strange for donuts, but if the main purpose of your website is to get people to sign up, then by all means. So what do you guys think should be the main action, call to action for a donut website? Like, what is the most important thing that you want your customers to do? Feel free to type in chat and let me know. Buy donuts, yes, that's what everyone is saying. Perfect. But I'm thinking right now, if I put a button that says buy donuts here, that's kind of confusing, because first of all, your customer doesn't really know what they're getting into at that point. So I might do something like see our offerings. That might not be the best phrasing, but view shop or just shop. I don't mean to say that you guys actually meant that the button should say buy donuts, but that's an example of designing things so it's as intuitive as possible. Okay, so this is the same color palette as above. Oop, was my text centered? Perhaps. What's wrong with this button if I were to do this button? By the way, I'm rounding the corners by just pressing the up arrow in the corner here. I kind of like rounded corner buttons, they make me happy. What's wrong with the button? Nobody has told me why the button is bad. Please tell me why the button is bad. It has to do with it plop on top of donut. Yes, it very much blends with the background. I can't even tell that there's a button there. Well, while I might have like a drop shadow, let's see, drop shadow on the button to make it easier to see. Why are their drop shadows so weird? I like to have them kind of offset, or put a gradient on the button. But anyway, yes, this is a bad color for the button. What if we had it as the sprinkle color on the donut? By the way, Hasib, if you're having trouble finding a good color palette, this could be a good way to do it. To just like find an image that you like and then use colors from that image. I don't like this because it doesn't seem like a call to action, but it will suffice for now. By that I mean like I kind of expect colors to buttons to be dark and not lighter in the background. But yeah. You guys are having some interesting suggestions in chat for random donut ordering and donut subscription. Donut subscription is kind of interesting actually. Like I would actually be intrigued to have a website that basically their main service was a donut subscription. Like if you are going to design that, then I would be very happy to see that. Donut. Shop now. Shop now. Is all caps too jarring? Let's try all lowercase. Shop now. I like that. Okay, and that should be a bit darker for maximum contrast. The reason that won't center properly is because this text box is not centered itself, and now it should be able to center. Okay. Let's get that color. Could we go even darker? Oh, interesting. I would like for this image to be, no, not drop shadow. Less, to be more transparent in essence, but I don't really see that option here. Oh, by the way, inspect, I think. It can show you the CSS for something like that, but it does tend to give you absolute position, which if you want your website to be responsive, like adapt to different devices, isn't particularly helpful. But it can help you do things like effects like the drop shadow, for example, and also border radius, which is for the rounded corners. Cool. I would put a subtitle here actually. Something like explore our selection of hand curated, what's it called? Bespoke. Bespoke flavors, including matcha, raspberry, tiramisu and more. And I might actually want to add a down arrow here, but I don't have that symbol on my keyboard. So. I see a problem that's also a benefit with the donut. Interesting. That was from the chat, by the way. Send donuts on mystery day. So essentially a donut subscription, but it's unpredictable. That's very interesting. Okay, so since this is a subtitle, I'm going to make it smaller than the heading and also less wide. And that seems kind of long now. I don't want them to have to read too much. You know, it might look less long if the text is smaller. Yeah, okay. Like I said, the background image actually really influences the way this landing page looks, but I might want to do another crop just so I have space for the subtitle. And here's what I'm going to do. So I've escaped the crop. Oops, I can't touch that image anymore. Why? Okay, please, I want to touch this image. I think I might have locked it by accident. Did I lock it? No, it's not locked. Please? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to make it smaller, which I'm doing by pressing Alt and Shift at the same time so that it resizes at the center of the image. If I were not to press Alt, then it would resize like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to make the background this color also. So as a reminder, the eyedropper is the I key. And so now, what I would like to do even more is to have the shop appear if you just keep scrolling. Like, instead of shop now be a button, just have it be like an arrow. So I don't know if I can easily make an arrow shape right now, but I'm just going to, oh, very nice, it aligns. If I press Shift while doing this, then it will be at right angles. I don't know why that's doing that, but that's not very good. Okay. This is not symmetrical. If I had more time, I would make it symmetrical. You can probably look up how to do that. I do not want a stroke, but I do want a fill. Oh, that is so asymmetrical. It's okay, it gives it personality. Okay, we're gonna go with this dark red, which I cannot see due to that window. Very cool. Are you guys working on your designs? I really hope you are. Hopefully we can do a friendly critique at the end where we talk about what could be improved and what we like about each other's designs. That would be nice. I think I like this. I'm going to move this down a bit just so the subtitle has space. I'm going to make this, let's see if it's visible if it's white. Oh, that's not good. So I'm going to make it kind of like a less saturated and less dark version of the red there. This is not a very good approximation of that, but oh, an option is to make it semi-transparent to get that color, but I wouldn't recommend making your text actually semi-transparent. Anyway, I'm just going to add some more navbar things. What other categories? About. I might think like, what is it about? Is it about donuts? Is it about the company? So I'm going to put about us, just so that's clear. About us, I'm going to do here, shop. Subscribe for y'all's idea about donut subscriptions. Okay, and these should be centered vertically. So let's see if it do that for us. It doesn't look centered vertically to me. It seems like it's centered the text box and not like the actual text. Oh, that is large. So I'm just going to move it manually for now. But I think when you're actually making things, that will be doable. I can make that lowercase to kind of because all of these are in lowercase and it's dropped down in lowercase, so it's kind of the same vibe. I'm actually going to go ahead and make this a little darker. There you go. Cool. So this is very simple, but I think it's very clear to the user. Like, you've introduced them, you take them on a journey, you kind of make them salivate with a picture of delicious donuts, and then you say shop now, imperative. So I'm okay with that for like a first prototype. I'm gonna go ahead and stick that in ship and share, and I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. I am going to stop recording the website now, but as always, please ping me if you have any questions about design or anything about the workshop. And yeah, thank you so much for coming.